Hey everybody,
Hello.
how are you doing? Welcome to the best CID cycle of your entire life and mine. It's time. It's Blindwater time.
I need you to calm down.
I'm not gonna calm down.
I mean, like, you don't need to be like calm, but like a little more calm.
I'm gonna be ridiculous this entire time because I think we have some amazing new models coming out, some amazing new like playstyle opportunities, just a ton of great stuff. So Minions fans rejoice, and even if you can play these models in your own faction, you've got a lot of good stuff coming to you. Like, and honestly, even if you don't play hordes, you can't use these models. That Dracodile is a sweet looking model. So this CID cycle,
It's muy grande.
so much good stuff.
Muy grande.
So what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about all the new models releasing as part of the Blindwater CID cycle. These are models that will be coming up as part of the Blindwater theme release in our future No Quarter Prime. Then we're also going to go over all of the legacy models available in the Blindwater theme force that have changed and are being tested currently.
Yep.
I'm Will Hungerford, Organized Play Developer,
I'm Will Pagani, Development Assistant.
and we're going to talk to you for a while.
I don't know. Who knows what my title is? Who cares?
Development Assistant.
Or is it Assistant? I don't know. Who cares? Let's go. Barnabus, Lord of Blood. He's beautiful.
All around good bro.
Sure, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Tony, he's so nice.
You know I love you.
He's so nice.
You know I love you.
Okay.
I'm serious.
So let's talk about...
So Barnabus, Lord of Blood.
Excellent. This guy's pretty crazy. If you listen to the Primecast, we talked about him a little bit already. He's got a lot going on with him, and he does a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is...
Enjoy.
Yeah. So let's just start conceptually. This is Barnabas having ascended to demigod status. On his way, we should say. So he is obviously a step up from original Barnabas.
Sure. Yeah.
He's going to be a little bit more frontline than the original Barnabas, and probably honestly the most frontline caster in all of Blindwater.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So he's very durable, and in sort of his concepting, he's supposed to be leading his armies from the front, kind of really getting stuff done himself.
Leading the slaughter from the front, because that's how he's constantly fueling his apotheosis, is with the giant meat and carnage and all the souls that he sort of sucks. He doesn't actually collect souls; he collects corpses in this version, but that he's like just.
But that's the concept.
Piling up through his conquests.
Through these deaths, he can gain all of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's sort of his concept there. I think we should start off along with that with his feet.
Well, let's actually start with one unique thing about him.
Okay.
Just for when you first see the models, before you know his feet or anything else, the first thing you're going to notice is he's on a large base, so up from a medium base. He is huge. He is physically grown since ascending into demigod status, and he is a warlock unit.
Yes.
And he's going to come with some bone shaker models, which we'll talk about in a little
These
bit.
little like bone snaky guys. I don't know exactly what they look like. I haven't seen the art form.
They're
I know it's on the website.
These little like skeletal things coming out of the ground.
In my mind, they're like little mini bone swarms.
Kind of. They're kind of like little mini bone swarms. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the feet, because it's a really it is a weird feat, but
it fits really well with this model.
It fits well with what he does.
So what it does is, when you use it, you can immediately remove one or more friendly living or undead models in its control range from the game. So your models, and for each model removed, he gains one corpse token, one fury point, or can remove D3 damage from a model in his battle group. So he can heal himself, he can heal his battle group, you can put your systems back on. You get a bunch of efficiency from this feat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it gives you a bunch of corpses, which can always be difficult to acquire for casters that require them. And then, of course, you can also fill up on Fury. So we're kind of looking at something a little bit like a Butcher 3 feat mixed with like a corpse collection mechanic.
And a little bit of sort of almost like Gorshade 2 into how you're going to build your army list. This is your friendly models you have to destroy to do this. So you're going to want to plan ahead for that. A unit of Swamp Shamblers with him is, I'm not going to say a must, but it's very high up there, right? Yeah. You need something that you can just sacrifice and generate as much as you possibly need.
Swamp Chandler's got some love in this as well. So
They did, but I mean,
we'll get there later.
If you have, say, 2 units of Swamp Shamblers and you remove, I don't know, all 18 of the starting undead Shamblers, or just say you remove the entire unit, do 20. I mean, you're going to refill them on his Fury, fill them up on corpses, and probably heal most of your battle group to full. I mean, obviously, you're spending 22 points to do that, but
20 now.
Did we drop it down?
I think they went down to 10.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let's talk about some of his other abilities, and we're talking about this corpse collection. So obviously, he can collect corpses. He can have up to 3 at one time. He has meat fueled. So he's gaining +1 strength for every corpse he has on him. He starts at a base Power strength 15 on his axe, and his bite's a 14. So we're talking about going up to an 18.
And a 17.
And a 17, which is That's Chromac 2 level murder the world.
And then to kind of compound that, the Bone Shakers themselves also have Dark Shroud. So when they're hanging around, that's really a POW 20 and a POW 19.
Yep.
So this guy can really, really do some heavy lifting himself. He's got great defensive stats. He's a 13-18, which isn't super great by itself, but then when you add in all of his spells and other things available in the faction, he really shines.
Yep.
So he's got Execration of Blackest Night is kind of one of his key concept spells.
Yep.
Which let him play really in the front line here, which gives living and undead models -2 to attack rolls in his control area, which is 14 inches, so that's muy grande.
So basically, against anything but constructs, you're looking at a Def 15 caster.
Yeah. So that makes him a 15-18. He's got 16 hit points. That's pretty durable. You can cast Swarm, you can cast the Dracodile Animus, Floodwaters, which will both give him concealment.
You can have Wrong Eye and Snapjaw with
Signs of Portents sitting there.
Starcrossed.
Starcrossed.
Yeah, sitting nearby.
That's
So-
Yaga Yaga.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, I mean, keeping him alive is very. And we skipped over one thing with the corpse tokens real fast.
Sure.
Is that
I'm excited.
I know we were talking about him getting stronger with the corpse tokens, increasing his actual strength. But the other thing is, as those little bone shakers die off, the thing he can spend his corpse tokens on is to bring them back. So that Dark Shroud ability is something that you can't lose throughout the course of the game.
Yeah,
you can always keep bringing it back as long as you have a corpse token.
Yep. And then he also has Sacrificial Pawn to those Bone Shakers. So
Yeah.
while he's standing in the front line, it's very difficult to shoot him because he's got 3 little shield guard guys.
Yep.
Well, Sacrificial Pawn targets that can take shots for him. And then once again, you can bring those back every turn. So he becomes very durable against shooting as well.
For the rest of his spell list, Blood Rain and Rebuke, obviously both great spells. And Blood Rain
Rebuke
is
is,
so,
yeah, very, very strong.
Blood Rain is so thematic. I mean, he is the Lord of Blood. And in case you're wondering, like, Barnabus has risen to like Wormwood, Lord of the Feast, Old Witch level power. Like that is pretty much like where he's
That
at.
true?
Yes, in terms of like being a primal force of nature / demigod, he's right around like Wormwood and Old Witch are
Somebody find me Gets.
crazy ancient. So he's kind of, and so is Lord of the Feast. Lord of the Feast like is the avatar of the Devourer.
Yep,
right?
yep.
So Lord of the, if you're wondering like,
I mean, I don't know if we're quite there yet, but he's on his way. How about that?
no, that's I'm telling you.
I don't
the
know,
next
man.
step above this is like Thamar.
We'll see.
One last spell before we go on.
Oh, yeah. He's got
Hunter's
Hunter's
Mark.
Mark. So this is the first caster with Hunter's Mark. It's a cost 2 spell, just for those of you that were wondering, because it's only ever been on solos with magic ability before that never had to pay for it. This spell is really sweet on him, and we're going to get to the Gatorman Soul Slave here in a little bit, which is a spell slave that can cast it as well.
And the Bone Shrines, which let him mark it.
And the Bone Shrines, which will be Arc Notes for him. This spell is really great in Gators. It also promotes like a really mixed style army with him, whereas a lot of the other Gator Warlocks have like Warpath. That's not a Gator Warlock, is it? Oh, it is.
Yeah, Barnabas won
Barnabas,
his Warpath.
yeah. So they have like Warpath, or they have things that only affect either units or beasts. So this one kind of affects everything. So you can really get a mixed style army here.
So the main thing we want to see tested with Barnabas 2 right now is the ability to def skew incredibly hard. What I mean by that is with Execration of Blackest Night and then him being able to cast Swarm from a Bone Swarm and then possibly having Starcrossed, now you got me saying it, Starcrossed up from Wrong Eye and Snapjaw hiding possibly behind, I don't know, a Dracodile. We're looking at a caster who, I mean, easily frontline and could possibly be a bit too strong. He is tempered a little bit by the 16 damage boxes, but at the same time, I mean, he's got so much going on that the 16 damage box is almost is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like even hitting him and hurting him, and then transfers. So he may be too survivable. Execration could possibly be too strong. We need you to test it. Let us know what you think. That's our top concern going into the CID.
Yeah. Sort of our checkbox that we would like checked by the community.
Next, let's talk about.
Well, we got the Bone Shakers next. I mean, they're not super great at fighting, but they're there mostly for utility stuff. So they're Mat 6, POW 10. They're Def 12, Armor 14. Nothing exciting here.
They're
except
Dark
for
Shroud. They're Dark Shroud on a stick.
Yeah. So that's their goal here. We're going to go in a pretty random order here. We got Long Chops next. He has a hat.
Anthony literally just asked, "Where's my long chops?"
Where's your Long Chops, Anthony? Welcome.
We did lose our chat feed directly in front of us. It might pop back up later, and we'll be able to see.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll find out.
But Long Chops has a sweet hat, which is not represented in his rules, which does make me a little bit sad. Or is his hat the trap, maybe? He like puts his hat down with like a trap underneath it.
I'm going to go with advanced deployment.
That's his hat?
I think the hat represents advanced deployment and is core to that
So it
concept.
does have a sweet hat. Not really relevant to the model at all, though. Long Chops kind of reminds me of like a Kel Baylock style solo. Now, he's not quite as elite as Kel Baylock is in terms of like his pure damage output at range.
He's
right?
not
He
taking
doesn't
two
get
deadly shots.
It's not a magical gun, anything like that.
Yeah.
But he is a range 12 POW 14 gun, which is a very respectable gun. He's Rat 6. At range 12, he can probably aim a pretty good amount of the time.
But
Get at 8.
Yeah, but the utility, right, is crazy.
Oh, the utility about this guy is why you will take him. He's got Trapper, which we see on...
Crump on Grim
Yep,
2.
yep, which puts down a 4-inch AoE, and then anything that walks into that takes a POW 10. If it's damaged, living or undead models that walk into it take a POW 10. And if they're damaged,
They get knocked down.
they get knocked down, which is incredibly powerful.
Now,
Incredibly powerful.
Long Chops has 2 rules that really play into this. I mean, he can do the trap as his action, but he also has Bushwhack, so he can shoot and back up. And then he has a new rule called Cover Tracks that says if he shoots and kills someone, he can place his trap. So with Long Chops, if you're in a good position or you move him in the right position, you can aim, or you can't aim, you can Bushwhack, shoot, kill, drop the trap, back away.
And Boogie, yeah.
And Boogie. And that's incredible.
So I really like this guy. I think he does a bunch of stuff, and I think he's very unique in what he does in the faction. Like, he gives this incredible zone control aspect to the faction that they've never really had before.
You just have him at the edge of like a steamroller circular zone, and you have him, especially if there's any terrain nearby, just have him harass. Just pick things off, leave that trap where you want it, keep hiding, backing up where you want it to be. Like, he's very strong.
So I'm happy with where this guy is. 5 points. I think we're at a good spot there. But when testing him, really think about that point cost. Really think about how he interacts with your army and if he's worth that 5 points.
Yeah.
And when I say if he's worth that, I don't necessarily mean he's overcosted. Maybe he's undercosted as well. Like, this guy does a ton of work and has a lot of great utility. So 5 points, I think it's at the right place. Yeah. But when you're testing it, that's really what we're looking for. Do you feel this is at the right spot?
And is he your free option? One thing Blindwater Theme Force has a great variety of is options for their free solos. You're looking at things like Totem Hunter, the new Throg, which we'll talk about in a bit, and now Long Chops. And so when you get that free solo, are you immediately reaching for the most expensive one, like Totem Hunters, Bull Snappers, or is somebody like Long Chops become a viable option to you?
Yep. Speaking of other viable options that are going to be free, but probably won't be free because they're only 3 points.
Yeah.
The Gatorman Husk.
Oh, he's so gross.
I love his concept art.
I
He's
do
like
too.
this cuddly, squishy looking Gator Man.
So take a Gator Man, cut him open,
Scoop him out.
fill him full of just like bugs and gross stuff. Like, grab a garbage bag from the dumpster outside of Shoney's and just pour it inside a Gator Man. Then you sew that boy back up.
Give him a little bit of the woo.
You teach him how to ambush, and you go, all right, Boogie Woogie,
Good luck, buddy.
go get him.
Good luck. So what this guy is, he's kind of like a walking sack of angry bugs. He has ambush and advanced deployment, which is exciting because he can just kind of like wander out of random places.
Yeah.
And every time your opponent attacks him, bad things happen. So he can stand in the way of things. He explodes when he dies. Whenever they hit him, he has hyper aggressive, so he can contest zones really well. And then when they do try to kill him and clear the zone, he's going to wander towards your opponent and then start spraying him down with Eruption of Flies.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
1 second, guys. Looks like our stream died.
Yeah, video died. Working on it, folks.
We're gonna chill 1 second till someone tells us the stream is back up.
Are we back? We're beautiful. Are we beautiful? I've been beautiful before. Oh, I love being beautiful. Are you beautiful?
I'm beautiful. Tony, are we good to go?
I think we are good to go. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
We had technical difficulties.
I've never had a difficulty in my life.
They're gone now.
That's not true.
We were talking about the Gatorman Husk.
Yes. I don't know where we left off.
We basically giant sack of gross bugs being sewn into a guy that is ambushing from the side, and we're starting to go over his rules. So why don't we start fresh?
Yep. So he's got ambush and advanced deployment.
Yep.
So advanced deployments can really get him into zones early, can really contest stuff. Ambush can put him into some really weird places.
I like the fact that you could run this like insane ambush team now. So if you're playing Blindwater, you can play 3 husks, double trawler, I don't know, double ambusher.
Yeah.
If you just want to be like, my army,
Yeah, I'm going to have 45 points come off the side.
I'm gonna have 45 points just come off the side of the board because I can. Like, that's a thing you could do. Now, I don't think that's a crazy technique by any means, but it's fun.
I mean,
Now, double
try
trawler.
it.
Double
That's one of the things
trawler-
that we're interested in is does this massive ambushing army do enough? Is it too good? Is it not good enough? Is the ambushing kind of Blindwater mini theme viable?
Yeah.
So that's something that I would like to see people explore a little bit more.
I could see double trawler, triple husk being, or
Yeah.
at least even double husk, double trawler being a thing that happens.
I mean, it's only 15 points, right?
it's only about 15 points. Well, yeah, it's real cheap, real cheep.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. One of the things that I'm concerned about with this guy is that he's not quite survivable enough to really be able to use his hyper-aggressive and his eruption of flies. Now, this guy's not super expensive, but does he do anything? Like, does he get there? Does he contribute? That kind of stuff. So that's what I want people to test here is this guy meaningful to include in your army?
Yeah, exactly. One second, everyone. This is live stream. We're candid. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. Tony, John is trying to get your attention. He's been trying for a long time. And I just keep watching him. We're going to keep
Way
talking.
to ruin
now.
the illusion.
We're in a studio. People know we're in a studio.
It's true. It's true. It's a beautiful studio. We have this beautiful company of Iron Box. It was placed there on purpose.
Ooh, Husks and Company of Iron.
Woo! That'll be good.
All right, let's talk about legitimately. Okay, this is not me being crazy biased or anything. Legitimately, like one of the most beautiful models I think we've made in a very long time in terms of a huge centerpiece.
I thought you were going to say something way more ridiculous than that.
No, like beautiful model, something people have been wanting forever because it was in the Monsternomicon since the early days. The Dracodile is finally coming out, everyone, and I couldn't be more excited to finally have this as a model to play with. And I know a lot of other people who don't even play minions feel the same. I mean, this is
Especially Scorn.
but also just like people like the Archangel's a good example of a model that we know a lot of people bought who don't play Legion, and honestly, some people that don't even play our game because it was a cool looking dragon. Dracodile's in the same vein, and I'm
I agree.
really
I
happy
agree
about that.
completely.
So let's talk about this monster who is different than what we talked about on the
Primecast.
Primecast.
Yes.
We
So-
changed him between Primecast and now.
We kind of had like our final meeting where we go through all the stuff and be like, hey, is this where we want this to go into CID? Because all the stuff has been play tested for months and months and months. But we do have kind of one last meeting before we go into CID, and we're like, the Dracodile, he's pretty good. Maybe we can make him a little more spicy. We could give him a little more stuff in there. So
Yeah, so we dropped a Fury
we
off
souped
of
him up a bit.
and then we added a ton of good stuff.
Yep. So we went down to Fury 4.
Yep.
For
For a reason.
guys.
For a reason.
He picked up an initial, which kind of balances out that Fury 4. So he picked up a tail attack. The crit blind on his spray is now just blind.
Yeah, his assault spray 10 rat 5 attack is not crit blind. It's just blind. So we're talking a speed 5 charges a warrior model for free, which maybe you're charging to get the assault to do a spray. I mean, anything warrior model he's charging, I mean, he's going to kill. But with things like boundless charge in faction, there's a couple minor ways to be able to speed him up, like
Hunter's Mark.
Like Hunter's Mark, like a 10-inch auto blind spray is crazy. Maybe it's too good.
Yes. So this is something that we're looking at. Is that spray two bananas?
Yeah. But you're talking about the new initial, the tail.
Yeah, he picked up a tail attack, which
that?
has crit smite.
Yeah.
It's a third POW 17 initial, so with rage, he's POW 20 on 3 of his initials and 22 on the other.
Yep. Like the bite, the tail is not on either arc.
Yep.
So you can attack on either side. And really that came from, we looked at the model and we were just physically sitting in one of our development meetings. We had the model in front of us and we were like, how does this not have a tail sweep? Like when you see how much of the volume of the actual model is that huge spiked tail, we're like, it has to be. So the inclusion of auto blind and the inclusion of a new initial, which has crit smite on it, was why he went from Fury 5 to 4. Because simply put, at Fury 5 with all these extra abilities is too much.
9 attacks at POW 1,000,000 with certain casters.
That's too much. Well, not even. I mean, you've got Rage with the Wrestler, and then you've got Parasite, Mortality, Fury, Dark Shroud, and then we'll talk about Yaga's changes in a bit.
We'll get there.
But pretty much everybody but Barnabus 1 has a way to help him increase or be more effective at damage dealing.
And Barnabas has swamp pits for him, so you can't even shoot him.
So one thing to test on the Dracodile we're actually a little concerned about is, he fits within Barnabas 1's Swamp Pit. So you can have Swamp Pit go up, Dracodile walks up, can't be targeted by ranged attacks. Then he actually puts up Floodwaters, which creates a 5-inch bubble all around his huge base of shallow water. So charging him is difficult unless you have Pathfinder or anything like that. And maybe the Dracodile's too strong at that point.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe
Test
not.
it. That's what we're here to do for CID, right? We're here to see what works, what doesn't. Is this too good? Is this not good enough? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So give it a shot.
All right.
Croc Trappers!
I know you love these guys. I know you love their models and them and Quack. You seem to have.
I raged so hard at these things, and I'm really happy with where they're at right now. Because before they were insane. They were like 2 points, and they had auto knockdown on the scattering AoEs, and they had advanced deployment and reposition and all this kind of stuff. And now they have Quake, so they have to actually hit. They didn't pop up to Rat 6 from when we were playtesting them, though, way back. So that's sweet. But I like these guys a lot. They bring a bunch of utility. Knockdown is a fantastic rule. At 4 points, they're reasonably cheap. You can take them to score circle zones. So a 4-point unit is always great in SR 2017. And then they do stuff, right? And they're really hard to remove.
They've got Pathfinder and Prowl.
They've got Prowl.
Yeah.
They've got Advanced Deployment. They can get places. So
Like, I'm excited about this unit because this comes down to you've got 4 points left to spend. What solo, or maybe do I want Bellows Crew? Do I want this or that? And now you've got another viable option of depending on what your plan is. I think they add utility. They're not going to go in every list by any means, but
and I do think this is going to be one of those ones that pops up in a lot of other factions lists because they work for Circle, Legion, Scorn, and Trollbloods, where a lot of those factions, especially in some theme forces, don't have very many low point options. So these guys can really pop in there. So
which plays into the big theme force release later on this week.
Correct.
All right, you go ahead and say their name first.
Kloob, Sklib, Skloob, and Lube?
No, it's Squarb, Sklurplop, and Blark.
Oh, my mistake.
Quack, Slickspine, and Gub.
You're never allowed to say the name right.
Correct.
He said it once, and he broke the rules.
Yeah, so anytime you pronounce their name at the table, and by the way, you can never point to them and say this model, you must say something.
Correct.
You must mispronounce it as hard as you possibly can.
Yes.
Multiple syllables, and then ending with one single string.
That ends with a B.
Yeah, it ends with a B.
Always has to end with a B.
You can end with a Gub. You could be like Spork, Bork, Bork, and Gub.
Sure. I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll take it. So this guy is pretty crazy. Like, I love it. I love it.
I love this model so much.
He's got 4 spells, which is already weird because most people only have 3. He's got Share the Load, so we can cast 2 of them per turn.
Right. So what this model is, let's start with the concept for those who haven't seen
yeah.
it. This is a Siamese Croc sorcerer. This is a larger Croc with a tiny, which is Quack, and then growing out of him like right here.
Up, dude.
What?
It's Skloob, Sklib, Sklab. Not.
Oh, and group. Growing out of him like right here is this little conjoined twin, and they're both sorcerers.
Yep. Yep.
So they have Share the Load, which means that they can cast basically cast 2 spells a turn, as you mentioned. And then let's go over the spell list because it's strong.
So he's got Enliven, which is always going to be a great support spell, and being able to cast twice per turn puts him like ahead of a lot of the other support style pieces. He's got Heal. Heal can work on War Beasts, of course. You can also heal your Gatormen and stuff with it.
Yep.
So he can walk up and heal 2 Gatormen for D3, or the same one twice for D3 if you're playing a theme and they got 8 wounds.
Yep.
You can put systems back on War Beasts. Fantastic. He's got Mudfoot, which is a new unique spell. I'm pretty sure that the only thing making this spell reasonable is the fact that it's range 6, because he's really got to get up there. He's not very fast himself, and it removes Pathfinder and makes the model treat all terrain as open terrain.
And
so if you have no way to get at Pathfinder again, it's real sad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you said, it's range 6, so he has to be very close, and like it's going to be most powerful against like a Colossal or something like that, being able to slow them down. But at the same time, there's no Colossals that can't charge him, even after he does that, unless there's something in the way.
I don't know if that's true. I think it's true.
With speed plus
Or
3
maybe
plus
speed 4.
reach, like that's
And
5
7.
inches right there. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to drop anything down to speed effect of 0.
We Gucci.
And in Magic Candyland, you get to share the load and Mudfoot twice.
Two different things, yeah.
It's never going to happen, but it's cool when it does.
And then he's got Venom, which is a great like anti-jam spell. You can do a bunch with it. His magic ability of 7 makes it an excellent spray.
Yep. This model is also phenomenal in Company of Iron, by the way.
Yeah.
Heal is great on your commander. Mudfoot is very strong. Simply
Venom?
double Venom in Company of Iron is gross.
Yes.
So I'm
this
very
guy's
excited.
clocking in at 4 points.
Yeah.
Test it. See how you guys feel about it. We really want to keep an eye on him because there's some very powerful rules in this guy, and he is pretty cheap.
Yep. Gatorman Soul Slave. Woo! So we have a Warcaster attachment for the Warlock attachment for the Blindwater. And one of the main things he does is he has Spell Slave. Let's talk about Spell Slave in Blindwater. It's nuts. Rask, we got Boundless Charge. We're looking at being able to throw out like things like Mortality. We're talking about being able to throw out things like Flesh Eater. We're talking about
Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark.
Ice Blast.
Ghost Walk. Bone Shaker.
There's a lot going on in Blindwater.
Very powerful in this mini faction.
Yep.
On top of that,
he's got Arcane Assist, so free upkeep, always good.
Yeah, for 4
Always
points,
good.
and more importantly, he's 10-17 with 8 damage boxes. That's a very durable Warlock attachment. Most of them are a little bit squishier than that. Keep him in the back, move him up if you need to cast a spell, but I can't wait.
And then sometimes he gets feisty and he bites stuff at POW 12.
With Rask, I think he'll probably be his most powerful with Rask, being able to allow Rask to upkeep Fury for free, or Admonition for free, or Veil of Mist for free, and then being a second Boundless Charge that doesn't tie up any of Rask's resources. So I think he would be at his most, I don't want to say abusable, but strongest there. And I would say see what you get out of him with Rask and see if he feels pointed appropriately. Yes, John?
When are the theme forces dropping? Do we know
Should
yet?
be end of the week.
End of the week. Sweet deal. There's
Should
a bunch
be.
Of bunch of people asking.
If something
so-
goes horribly wrong,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I doubt it.
Like,
Right.
should be, but understand.
Also, themes or riot doesn't mean anything in a stream chat unless you have dongers to go with it.
Sure.
So raise your dongers, guys.
There's a chance terrible things happen.
Yeah, like if I die.
No, we would go on if you died.
Oh, okay.
But like, say that the whole building burned down.
I mean, that would probably stop it, yeah.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Soul Slaves are dope.
Yep, pretty excited.
The Boil Master and Spirit Cauldron. This is a weird one.
Yes.
But it's so awesome. It's so awesome. So this is a Gatorman cook, is what I'll call him effectively. And then this giant cauldron with like spirits, literal spirits,
Making
and all
the spicy gumbo.
He's making the spiciest gumbo you can possibly make. And it introduces some really cool things to Blindwater that I think are going to open up a lot of models that we have not seen played traditionally often. So the first thing is he can generate corpse tokens and he can give corpse tokens.
Yep.
So your bone swarms, and pretty much from the onset of the game, he can generate D3. So on average, you're looking at about 2. You get lucky, you get 3. So you can just load a bone swarm up. Swamp Shamblers.
Yep.
I mean, they're already popular, but now you can just be giving the Bokur corpses every turn.
Yep.
Barnabus 2, here's your corpses. Like, it's really, really, really strong. On top of that, he collects corpses around things that die near him. And so he can only, we've got sort of this death knell thing going on from Grimkin. Collect the corpses, hand them out to where we need them, and if no one's around generating corpses, I'll make my own.
Yep.
On top of that, he has Puppet Master, which we know how strong that can be.
So good. Especially on your Dracodile, so like you assault in, if you miss your spray, you re-roll it, and if you hit, you're mat 10.
Yeah.
Like it's your blind target, like it's, oh.
Yeah.
That's how Dracodiles attack. They just kind of do this.
No.
And then maybe like,
and then they spin around and they just whip them with the tail.
it's beautiful.
He's got Spectral Lash. It's an offensive spell. Honestly, it's rare that you're going to end up using it. I mean, like if things are that close to him.
Well, he's super slow, so
Right.
they kind of got to come to him for Spectral Lash to really do much.
This is a pure utility piece. Puppet Master and seasoning the sauce and handing out the other corpses is his main purpose. Is 6 points worth it when you play him? Is it too much? Is being able to give these models these corpses this easily too strong, and does it break anything? Let us know.
Oh, he got a Boil Master attached to him. That's the Gator Man. He bites stuff. No, he doesn't. He had a cleaver.
Nailed it. Second to last new model is the Void Leech.
Second to last.
Yep.
What's the last one?
Bone Shrine.
Oh.
And then we'll go over the legacy stuff. Void Leech is a little 1-point option. It attaches to any amphibious unit, so more than likely it's to go on your Gatorman posse. What you're adding to it is Mage Static, so -5 range on all spells against him, and then he has a once per lifetime ability where he RFPs himself and then kills all enemy animi and upkeeps on him. So,
And his unit.
And his unit.
Yeah.
So, well, he's attached to the unit. So basically, if somebody Crippling Grass your posse, nope. He goes to hell, Crippling Grass goes with him. Somebody, hits him with...
So harsh.
Well, that's what he does. He literally reaches up, because he's this little, talisman, they've sewn talismans into his body.
Sure.
To ward off the evil spirits.
Sure.
So he reaches up and he grabs a hold of the enemy upkeep token that appears floating
And,
above.
pulls it through the table?
And he pulls it through the table of the real narrative of the game, right into hell.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's why he dies when he does it. It's super neat. Cost a point.
1 point. He's not going to do a whole bunch.
Don't
but-
take him as a free option.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't even know if you can, because I think he's a weapon attachment,
Oh,
which
yeah,
I don't
you
think
can't
you can
even-
take for free, but if you
don't.
could,
But if you
don't do
don't,
that either.
That's the point. That'd be stupid. And I believe you, viewer, are smarter than we are.
But yeah, so remember when analyzing this guy, it's 1 point, right? Like you shouldn't get a whole bunch of work out of this guy. You should just get a little bit of utility, and it should be corner case matchups, in which case you're going to pull this guy into your lists.
Yeah. Great against anyone.
Great against a lot of things,
Parasite.
including to anyone.
Bah. Crippling Grass. Bah. Right to hell. Finally, the Bone Shrine.
The Bone Shrine.
So this is Blindwater's version of the rack.
Yes.
It's 2 points.
So
It's a 5.
already twice the point cost of a rack.
Yep. It's a 5 def 5 arm 18 rock with 5 damage boxes.
This thing is huge, by the way.
Oh, it's real
like the
big.
model is muy grande.
It has distant deployment like a Hellmouth, so it goes 12 inches beyond the normal deployment zone. It's immobile, so your rock ain't going nowhere. You can channel through it, which is super cool.
I mean, it lets you get your buffs out there, so you can. I forget the name of it. balance charge stuff. You can Fury with Rask. You can swap around all sorts of
It
different...
lets you cast Rage
different
as you
places.
need it
Yep.
through the War
Yep.
Beast while moving things
It
around.
really helps them spread out a lot,
Yeah.
which is very important in 2017. So
And then it's got Spirit Nexus, which is an interesting rule.
it's kind of silly and awesome.
So you can it starts the game with a Fury on it. Your Warlock can take the Fury off of it and add it to themselves. But when you do, you roll a d6, and on a 1 or a 2, the spirits inside the Bone Shrine become angry, and your Warlock suffers -1 deafen armor for 1 round.
It's so angry.
So it's a rack that doesn't blow up; it just hurts you.
Yes. We do have a question from chat. What is the FA of the Void Leech? It is FA unlimited. You can have as many Void Leeches as you want.
That is
Three
accurate.
per unit.
3 per unit. Yeah, I mean you're limited by the amount of units you have.
Sure.
But if
any
you
number of units can have them.
and it's minion with amphibious. So wait a second.
Croaks,
Bellows Cruise.
Gatormans, Bellows Crew. Why? but why?
But why? Your Bellows crew can have 3 Void Leeches on it.
Who wants that?
You can do it.
Don't crippling grass my Bellows crew.
Well, it's just like we were talking about the other
Something
day.
horrible will happen.
In Grave Diggers,
My
the Trencher theme
2-point
force, you can put Murdoch on Linus and Edria.
So you can assault with those sweet Rat 5 guns.
You can.
I don't know why.
It's a rule.
but you
You're
can
allowed
do
to
it.
do these things with your models. I won't stop you.
He will stop you.
So that's all the new stuff coming out. That's
Yes.
going to be the definite big focus of our testing.
Absolutely.
Is are these new models working as intended? Are they meeting their concept? And are they adding something new and exciting to the faction without breaking anything?
Now comes the hard part where we get to go through all the old models. But all of our sheets are black and white, so we don't know what changed.
Well-
Let's see how good we are at this, shall we?
Let's go. Caliban.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Brilliant.
Caliban, real fast. Premier spellcaster in the faction. Great. Caliban is working as intended. Nothing should change on him. But we'll see if he has any weird
there.
interactions.
Bloody Barnabus.
The reason these old models that are in testing is because we're seeing if they have strange interactions with the new models, and you'll notice that some things are not in the CID, and that's because we
Yes.
don't want to open them up for testing. So, for example, Wrong Eye and Snapjaw are not in here.
Correct.
And they're not open to being tested right now. We've done some pretty extensive testing with them and what they do. But
By all means, put them in your lists. We're not really looking for feedback on them at the moment.
yep. Bloody Barnabas, aka Barnabas 1. Not a god yet. Great.
Still kind of sweet.
Oh, Maylock. We did some spicy things to Maylock.
So there's like one little change to Maylock that is going to blow up the world.
Super small.
Super small.
Super small.
So Death Pact is no longer target model unit. It is now range control, affects all warrior models.
They all become undead and gain +2 armor.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
It's cost 3, it's no longer upkeep. God help us all.
Oh, Oz informed me that Bellows crew aren't amphibious.
Oh, you got wrecked.
I got wrecked. I'm sorry
because
that
they're gobbers, not trogs.
they're swamp gobbers who aren't amphibious.
Yeah. Why would they be? They live in little huts. They don't live in the water. It makes perfect sense.
I'm doing it anyway.
Company of Iron, I'm doing it anyway.
I'm doing it anyway. Hashtag I don't care. So Maylock.
So Death Pact on Maylock is something that we are definitely keeping an eye on. We started off pretty high in the power level of the spell. Maybe it gets toned down. We'll see.
Just all your posse become undead and get +2 armor. All of your Bellows crews become undead and get +2 armor.
Yep. I think that puts them at armor 11.
Probably.
I think they're 9 base. So, hooray.
Cheers. And then they're all undead, so they all benefit from feet. So when they feed, they're all
they
+4
They're
armor.
armor 13.
Oh, they're +4
It's so much
armor.
value. But really, the value here is the Gatorman Posse and also Croc Raiders. Like, I think these guys getting this additional armor really helps out. You know, that kind of stuff. Now, an important interaction here, which I think we should jump ahead a little bit and talk about, is the Gatorman Witch Doctor is picking up Death Ride, which is the Derek Wraith spell that gives all undead models in his command area
+1 inch of movement.
So
Yeah.
that's going to give everybody in Maylock's army, really, because he has Field Marshal undead as well.
That's in the range of the Witch Doctor.
That's in the range of the Witch Doctor. When he casts, when he's done casting it, +1 movement. So that's an important interaction to note here. Please test this guy. This is a crazy change. I'm excited for it. I want to make sure it's not too much, though.
Yeah, we've played it obviously internally, and thus far we've
been
felt-
strong,
we
but
felt-
hasn't been-
We felt pretty good about it, and more importantly, that spell is not unkeepable anymore. So now there's a choice between casting that every turn or casting Revive.
Yeah. So it's going to take one of your spell slots, essentially.
Rask.
He's dope. I hate you for making me say dope.
Rask is probably the strongest caster in the faction. We'll see. We're not looking to change much on him.
Yaga, yaga.
Ooh, Yaga Yaga, or Jaga Jaga, or Jaga Yaga, or Yaga Jaga, depending on your preference.
Is she wearing like sweatpants for jogging?
Oh.
Conversion.
Oh.
Somebody do it. Do it.
Oh.
Fired.
A straight dad pun? I love you. No, really. Okay, so Jogga.
And we lost Spell Piercer, and we picked up Science Importance, which I remember sitting in the meeting, and I'm like, guys, this is probably going to be the only time I'm ever going to say this, and I'm not going to be kidding. And then I said Science Importance, and everyone was like, So if you read through her fiction, she has a lot of stuff about like communing with spirits and seeing the future and like being able to tell the future and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Science Importance to me really felt very thematic, and then of course it's obviously just a very powerful spell.
But she lost Spell Piercer in the
She
process.
Spell Piercer,
because
yes.
Spell Piercer plus Signs of Importance. No.
It's well, one, it's 6 Fury.
She gassed it.
I mean, she could, but good gravy.
Yeah.
And two, like, we don't need that in our lives, do we?
No.
So
Nobody wants that. And she got a new feat. And her feat is effectively she sack strikes D3 plus 5 of her own models, and the enemy models that it destroys are RFP'd.
yes. So this is a very niche feat. It's not going to be great in every matchup. But the matchups that it is great in, it's going to be very, very powerful in. So against any recursion list, you're looking at Ghostly, you're looking at High Reclaimer, Reclaimer 2, Grimkin in general. Like, you're going to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff with this. It requires no attack rolls, which is very powerful.
And then sometimes you sack strike 8 Posse directly into the enemy, cast her all under Signs of Importance, and just win the game.
Let me tell you how many games it made it until it was unboostable. It didn't even make it.
No, didn't even make
No.
it. Didn't leave the table. Didn't leave the table.
We like thought about it, we're like, make that unboostable. So there you go. It will be affected, however, by Science Importance. So
Yeah.
cheers.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
This might be broken.
Maybe.
We'll find out. Probably not.
I'm excited for it.
I don't think it's broken.
I've been very happy with it.
No Rask.
Let me tell you, when we were... Yeah, that's fair.
Go on.
That's fair. Croak Raiders with this are really, really, really good, by the way.
Yeah, all they needed was a little bump for their like their accuracy and their damage, and Signs of Importance turns out is real dumb.
Like a little...
Real dumb.
So what we want to see tested here is Science Importance, obviously, and a faction is an incredibly powerful spell. Croak Raiders, double Croak Raiders. We've seen a lot of double Croak Raiders, double... I forget the name of the battle engine.
Sacral Vault?
Double Sacral Vault in the same list. It does a ton of work.
Oh yeah. If you make a Blindwater
So-
gun list,
Yeah.
running all that and some spitters, like just blow the world.
So-
Super good.
That's what we want tested here. Keep on that. Let us know how all this goes. Cheers.
Ambushers, Bog Trog Ambushers went down to 915. They were yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't even know.
They did.
Sweet. I mean, I believe you.
Yeah. They were 1016 before.
Sweet.
We dropped them a point because they were too expensive.
And Ambush is a super sweet rule. So
Especially in
try that
2017.
out. Especially in 2017. Very, very powerful rule. I've been saying it for months. Gatorman posses.
Gatorman Posse didn't change at all because you're playing the Blindwater Theme Force, and that just gives them like, I don't know, some
luck.
minor rule that don't matter.
It's only got 7 benefits.
Yeah.
Black-Eyed Wrestler, that dude's dope.
Well, it had that many benefits, and then it's losing one effectively.
Oh, which is the
because
one that
Relic
lets
more
Relic
clock.
take a war turn.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
That's
because
going into
that's going to
core
be
rules. They don't
core
know
rule.
this yet.
Oh, now they do.
You're the worst.
Black-Eyed, we're not changing.
Nope.
No, I mean, like,
He's
what
sweet.
would you change? You don't have anything.
The Bull Snapper, Torpid.
Neither do we.
Torpid is no longer mandatory, so it's becoming a can effect. You don't have to fall asleep after you get all full and rub a belly.
You don't have to nappy time after you kill a bro. So if you want to drop that Fury,
Maybe you
can.
could kill 2 bros.
Maybe you kill 2 bros and then drop a Fury.
And then take a nappy time.
Yeah, up to you.
Yep.
Again, your choice. The Throg. Let's talk about the Throg for a second.
John's over here giggling. I think he approves of nappy time.
The Throg
We got a thumbs up.
does cool things, but it had trouble getting there to do them.
True. Yes.
So we gave him Pathfinder and Prowl.
And dropped him a point.
No, we didn't.
What? What?
He is still 6 points. But you think he cost 7 before? That's ludicrous.
No, I thought he was 5 points now.
No.
Maybe next week. Who knows?
We-
Give him a
we-
shot,
we
play
talk-
with him,
we talked
see how it
about it.
goes.
And then it bounced
Oh,
back
sure,
up.
sure. We'll try it out here, see if this makes him a more interesting and exciting option. See if he actually makes it to combat more. Does it help with his survivability? Well, I mean, obviously it will help with his survivability, but does it make him worth 6 points at that point? And if it doesn't, maybe we'll talk about 5.
The Spitter, Ironback Spitter. Let's get to some of the War Beasts.
He dropped a point.
Dropped a point. Nothing major here. We just felt he was a little bit too expensive for what he was doing. We wanted to just bring him up, and we'll create some daylight with the heavies, which you're going to see when we go through the Blindwalker and the Wrestlers top end 16. Well, top end is technically Dracodile, but of your regular heavies,
But the Wrestler and the Swamp Orb is 16 now.
We did bump him up to 16. Woo, woo. Well, the Swamp Horror got a little gross, though. So Spitter just dropped down a point in comparison to what the Swamp Horror and the Wrestler do now. We read the rest of those beasts in a second.
We got the Croc Hunter sliding right in here in the middle of all the beasts. This guy...
We changed a bunch.
Well, not really changing that much, right? Like, so we lost Gang Fighter, so he becomes a little more independent because he picked up a mat. So he's base mat 7 now instead of 6 with +2 for Gang Fighter. He still has Quick Work, which is fantastic.
Yep.
He has Reposition 3 now, which really lets him kind of pick from the sides here.
He gained Hunter.
And he picked up a Hunter. So our hope with this guy is that he can kind of be this skirmishing side unit that can throw his little spears, spears, right?
Yeah.
Or does he have like the animal, like the dudes? No, it's a spear.
It's a
okay.
spear.
I could just look at the paper. It's on the paper.
It's a poison spear.
It's right there.
The name of the name of the range attack is Thrown Spear.
But shouldn't it be Thrown Poison Spear?
No.
Oh,
Maybe.
no, it's just spear.
Swamp Gobbers don't have amphibious. Nothing makes sense anymore.
It's true. But yeah, so this guy should really pick from the sides and kind of slowly will down units. And then when it's time to go, he gets in there to party, he charges, he hits a mat 7, kills a guy, Quick Works, kills the second guy, repositions out of the way, opens up charge lanes, things like that. Like that's really what we want from this guy.
This guy in Long Chops, great little harassment team off the side. And then you bring a pair of like double ambush trawlers, double ambush husks. You just don't even play in the middle of the board anymore. You just don't even care. Like your caster's sitting there by himself with like 2 snappers just looking stupid, falling asleep, while the rest of your army literally comes in from the sides. Welcome to New War Machine.
Feed machine?
Would you mind moving? And then you just walk around the side of the table. You know, where you have to walk around with ambush. Yeah.
Yep, fair enough.
Excuse me. Could you move your tokens?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. I'm going to play on your side of the board.
Bone Swarms. Bone Swarms picked up Steady. I think that was it.
That was it. And that we were very careful to not, like, okay, we want the Bone Swarm to have a place as pretty much the only other light outside the Snapper, but we think the Boil is really going to do a lot for the Swarm. I mean, being able to, again, on turn 1, give him 2 or 3 corpses. Turn 2, you can definitely fill him up, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, this guy gets, right, like he gets, he's base POW 12. He picks up 3 corpses. He's POW 15.
And he's armor 18. He's armor 18.
He's armor 18, and then you rage him, and he's POW 18.
Yeah.
And he's this little 7-point light hopping around the board with his little bone swarmy self, just wrecking heavies. Like it's this guy does so much.
That's what Bone Swarms sound like, by the way.
So
So we're very. If you have any changes for the Bone Swarm to recommend, try it with the Boil first and make sure that it's not too strong.
Yeah.
John, you look like you have a question because you're holding the microphone and smiling at us.
I do. So Alex was actually asking why are ambushers keeping pull on the melee weapon?
Why not?
Yeah.
Do you not want it? I
mean, we could just take it off.
No, it's neat. They're keeping it because it's cool.
It's got a little hook on it.
Yeah.
Got a little,
Just
a little
range,
hooky bit.
range 2, man. You know, walk up and just whoop, whoop.
I've seen it do stuff. I've seen it pull things out of zones. I've seen it pull things out of the way.
Yeah. It's corner case, but
Yeah.
it's cool.
Like, it's not going to do a ton, but like 1 out of every 50 games, you'll just win the game.
And then with ambushers and now like multiple swamp horrors, you can just drag a model all the way across
Only a small
the
base
board.
model, though.
Yeah. Still neat though.
Yep. Oh, God, he said Swamp Horror out loud.
Swamp horror went up to cost 16, and that's because he picked up Chain Strike on his 3 tentacles.
Which is the 4-inch melee range, for those of you that don't know what Chain Strike is. He already had Chain Weapon, so ignore shields and shield wall and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But Chain Strike gives this guy a 4-inch melee range with pull,
Yeah, so,
which is insane.
so with Rask, you just cast Fury and Rage on him, and then you have 3 range 4 Palpable Strength 18 initials plus a Palpable Strength 22 Beak with crit devastation.
Amputation.
Crit amputation.
That would be amazing.
Merc.
He's got very powerful lungs.
To the moon! To the moon!
Yeah!
Is Chain Strike too much on a Swamp Horror?
Probably not.
Probably
but,
not.
But it's worth testing. Also, Scorn guys, really give this one a shot. I like it.
Yeah, it's really
I like
cool.
it in Scorn a lot.
Is the point cost appropriate for what he does now? And this thing will murder the world.
Yeah. So I think he does a ton of work. He was already a great kit, and I think this really just kind of bumped him up a little bit, gave him a unique spot where he's not kind of just like a wrestler with more initials.
Yeah.
So I think he's really got something to do here, and I'm excited about that.
The main thing we're trying to do with the 4 heavies is make sure they all have a unique role and really spread them out, which you're going to see. Getterman Witch Doctor. So
we already talked about Death Ride. He picked that up.
yeah, he lost Dominate Undead because it didn't do anything.
It was not a very commonly used rule, I think is what Hungerford is trying to say.
So we changed it.
Yep.
But Zombify had a pretty exciting change.
Yes. So Zombify, the previous edition of it, version? not edition, previous version of it.
Version.
Made things tough and undead, and Gatorman possibly already tough. All the Pharaoh guys are already tough. So really, the only thing that you would ever truly use it on is like Croaks, and I don't really feel like they gain that much from it.
Yeah, and you would take them to add the undead. Like if you were playing Maylock was the main thing.
Sure,
you would use
sure.
it to give more models undead so they benefit from the feat. But with the change to Maylock now making all the warrior models undead, like the Witch Doctor was really feeling lost in terms of what he did.
Yep. So this new Zombify makes you undead, of course, and then it also gives you last word. So if you die, you get to walk and attack something, which is pretty cool. It only works on a single model, though.
And a warrior
So-
model. Should be noted,
Correct.
it's only a warrior model.
Correct. So I think it's important to point out things that we like this on. So like Thralgs can get it, and they can knock off upkeeps during your opponent's turns. You've got Totem Hunters, of course. You've got pretty much any of those combat solos, right? So like Long Chops can take it, and I guess you get to walk up and bite something. I don't know. I'm lost.
It's
Like there's the combat solos, Croc Hunters, that kind of stuff can all use it very well.
Yep, agreed. And outside,
And then of course you still got Sack Strike, which is always great.
yeah. And then while we're testing this in Blindwater primarily, will work for food, for example.
Absolutely.
And
They're picking up the Boil Master, so that's sweet.
Yeah, and I believe we left it where it was just minion solos, not minion character solos. It was character units and minion solos, if I'm not mistaken. So we're looking at stuff like a Witch Doctor being able to zombify several of the typically Pharaoh solos that you would
Maximus?
Yeah. Well, you can't target Maximus. He's got spell ward. Yeah, but there's some other fun things you can put it on
That's
too.
very sad.
So,
That's very sad. Like the Gatorman Bokur,
yeah, I don't know,
or just the regular Bokur.
like Brun
Sure. That'd be sweet too.
or Dahlia, so she can walk up and play her flute as she dies in front of you.
I don't think she has an attack.
No, she doesn't. That's
She
the
can just
point.
wander
she,
around.
she walks up on. She's like, and they're like,
She like trips on something.
she just falls over dead. She like de-animates, and they're like,
Poor lady.
that was weird. And then like this snake goes berserk and just slithers off in the distance. They're like, it's spinning
To the
acid.
moon.
To the moon.
Yes.
The Gatorman, Bokor, and Swamp Shamblers. You were right. We dropped him down to 10 points.
Woohoo!
I forgot. He went
Yes.
down to 10, then went back up to 11. Then we dropped him back down to 10. We were going back and forth for a while.
There were a lot of stuff that happened. With
Why
him.
did he go down to 10 points? We looked at Alexia.
Yep. Next page. The Blindwater, also 10 points.
Blindwater went down to 10 points. This is the budget heavy of the,
We're-
of the faction.
We're concerned with the option of spamming Blindwalkers. Give it a shot. See what happens. Maybe 10's too
Yeah.
low. Maybe 10's not too low. Try it out. I'm interested to see them with Jaga Jaga,
Yeah.
sweatbands and all.
Yeah. Yaga Yaga.
Because, one, she loves Right to Power, right?
But Signs of Importance.
Deadweight's great. Signs of Importance turns these guys into some melee monsters. There's a lot of stuff going on with these guys at the moment. So definitely try out this 10-point heavy. Yeah.
Croak Raiders, nothing has changed.
Yes, so Croak Raiders are at that point where we playtested them a little while with bonus POW on their stuff again. So we
Yep.
put them back to POW 11.
Then we played around with their points for a little
And we
bit.
played on their points for a little bit, and they were insane.
We all remember
Again?
the end of Mark II.
We do. It was a sad time.
So we are paying attention to Croak Raiders. We want to see you test them. We want to see you test them with Signs of Importance. We want to see you test them with all the cool things that are coming out in the faction.
Yep.
And we are very, very cautious about making any changes to them. We are open to it, but there needs to be a really good reason, and it needs to be very small.
Very, very tempered, because these guys are like 1 or 2 POW away from just
Destroying the world.
entire game again.
Yep.
The Bog Chogma speaker, nothing changed.
Nothing changed, and that was the last of the legacy models. So,
Yes.
the Blindwater CID
To chat.
has started now, before we go into the chat questions.
Yes.
Go to cid.privateerpress.com to sign up. It's going for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
2.5. It's 2
Yeah.
weeks and then finish out the week.
So come join us. If you're watching this on YouTube after it's all over, I hope you liked what everyone else did for you. And now we're going to get to some chat questions. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, this is going to seem a little weird, but enjoy. John, ask us some questions.
We need some more questions because luckily a lot of the ones that were being asked, you have pretty much answered.
Oh, that's because we're ballers at what we do.
Well, because they were asking you or questions, like what am I watching? Because reading links.
Wow. Ooh, I got this super trolly chat question.
Yeah.
Jonah Perhins?
Yes.
I'm sorry about your last name. Would like a Warder Elias spoiler. He has 2 range 10 POW 10 crossbows.
But he can't use either one of them.
Why not?
Well, he's holding one in each hand.
Yeah.
They've got one shot each because he can't possibly reload.
They got the Renegade rule.
They have the Renegade rule. So they're shot, and he
guys.
throws them down. However,
guys.
he has another rule that lets him pull out 2 more crossbows after he shoots them for the next round. And all he does is keep pulling crossbows out of nowhere.
Out of literally nowhere.
Out of literally nowhere. So he can shoot
Like he's an
those in the
Overwatch
following.
character.
Yeah, he's kind of.
All right, so chat, hit us.
Do you
We're
feel
here
that
for you.
Yaga Yaga's feat is too strange?
Well,
no.
So if you saw the feat before we changed it, that one was probably too strange.
That was just convoluted, right?
Well, I mean, you killed their dudes, and then they became your dudes, and then
That
they got
they
to
could kill.
and then they got to like wander around, but then they could kill them, and then it just, what is even happening?
It was the interaction
it's no
was
bueno.
it was fiddly. It didn't work exactly how we wanted it to. This one is clean. It does what it's supposed to. It's bizarre, but her concept is that she's weaponizing spirits, and we want to maintain that. And we think that a multi-sack strike feat is the
Well, she's like a super Gatorman Witch Doctor, right?
yeah. She's a voodoo priestess.
Yep.
So
Yep. So that Witch Doctor guy, he can do it once, and he has to be close. She can do it from far away and do it a bunch.
Mark asks, have you thought how this affects scoring?
Yes.
Yes, and
Playtest that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's good. And there was a concern.
Actually, maybe Mark was talking about Yaga Yaga's feet, in which case, no, we had not really thought about how it affected scoring.
I did.
Of course, you did.
Same as everything else. Real fast, I know that we had gotten some concerns. I know I got messages on Facebook. I'm sure you did as well. Was like the Dracodile and other things being toned down, or were they being nerfed because they were going to be available in
You
Disciples?
tell us.
In Disciples of Agony. Yeah, I just want to get that out in the open. No, like you tell us. You can look at the Dracodile who we gave auto blind to, and minions are not suffering because they're available in Disciples of Agony, or any other faction.
So a bunch of people are asking again about when CID changes go live. Right now, we're planning by the end of the week. Things might go.
No, absolutely not,
Themes,
John.
End of the week.
Themes. That's what I'm talking about.
You said
Sorry,
CID.
changes.
Sorry,
Yes.
I meant themes.
Themes
non-CID
should be out by the end of the
changes.
week. CID changes are
We,
just.
we hope to have the Northkin one out very soon, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. That's a hopefully, don't quote me on that, it's not a hard date. Christmas stuff, we're looking to get back on track for the 4 to 6 weeks after it closes.
And then Tyler was asking, would it not make more thematic for Dracodile to charge any living model for free? Warrior models are not much of a meal versus a beast.
Sure.
Yes.
Suggested.
Yeah, bring it up in CID.
We'll see what happens.
Possibly. I mean, what are the questions we got? And
Have
how,
there
and
ever
how
been
much? And how much
plans-
time? I'm going to look over to the offside. I'll rest the steed over fast. I'm going to look over at Tony, who's over here, and be like, "Hey, Tony, about how much time do we have left to answer questions?"
0 minutes.
Tony says we have no time left.
Okay.
All right.
Are there any out of faction interactions?
So just answer another question. We
We're
have no
concerned
time.
about Scorn, Theme Force, Secret Masters, etc. Yeah, I mean, try it out on those things. Tony's just going to turn this off at some point, so I'm just going to keep talking until he does. Have there ever been plans to encourage 2-caster games and second caster minion or mercenary? Not particularly, but if you want to enjoy that
Or we-
style of play yourself, go for
We're
it.
going to do the rapid fire thing till we fade out.
What are the common lists
When do
have been
hordes
tried
get
with
ranking
Maylock?
officers?
A lot of stuff.
They're
A lot of
not
dudes.
anytime soon. What are the common lists that have been tried with Maylock?
A lot of Gator Man.
yeah.
Just turn it off, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, have you not
Just
shut
turn
us
it
off? Yeah, I
off.
thought we were fading to black.
Will there be any options for Retribution to bring Mercs and Ret themes? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's going to get that.
I think we're done.
No, I don't know that we're done.
No, I think it's off.
Is it off?
It looks like it's off.
No,
We're not off?
Tony says
Ah.
we're not off. I'm going to keep going until Tony literally walks over here and takes this mic.